Hi, I've got just a few random thoughts that I thought I would share. First off, uh, I want the country and culture to get away in terms of youth culture from promoting consumerism because that's not healthy for kids to indoctrinate them with that, let alone with uh, the thinking processes that are kind of espoused where it's like very reactionary, very um, pathological instead of necessarily ethical or uh, or logical in general. Um, and the thing is that it's always very self-centered on top of it. Oh, they can't do this to me. I gotta do something to them. Oh, I'm not feeling well. Let me go and buy this for me. Uh, you know, and they do promote some good values on some of them, like having friends and socializing and whatnot. But the things that the friends are shown doing together are very reactionary, very antagonistic towards other people. So it's like, oh, you should have your friends and then you should have your enemies. And it's like, well, no, you shouldn't necessarily have enemies. Uh, and someone once asked me, well, why, there have to be good reasons to have an enemy. You have to admit that. And I'm like, no, I don't. Uh, they were like, but an enemy gives you a reason to improve your industry and improve your military and improve your science and bolster your economy. And I'm like, well, no, that's what competition does. A competitor encourages you to do that. Having one of them encourages you to do that, but you can be a friend to them as well. Friendly competition is not an alien concept to humanity. And you can do it very easily. If someone is your classmate, for instance, don't feel like they're in competition, like they're your enemy and you have to defeat them or do better than them. Just do your best and encourage them to do their best. Because it's not as if they're only giving away 1A. And if a teacher does that, you need to report them because that is not good. You know, I don't care if you're in college or in preschool. If the teacher is only giving away, so many good grades, they really need to get their head out of their butt. That aside, uh, you know, you, I remember growing up as a student, the smart kids were discouraged because uh, people were like, "Oh, so you think you're better than me because you got a good grade?" Well, no, I think I'm improving on this subject because I got a good grade. Yeah, whatever, snob. You know, you don't do that to people. I mean, I don't know what kind of logic is necessarily following on. It doesn't work if you actually look at it. You know, it's purely pathological, it's purely self centered. Uh, so, very egocentric, very me, I need, I want to be the best. Well, it's not necessarily about you being the best overall, it's about you being the best you. And that aside, uh, there's a whole religious controversy in this country around what religion you are, or if you have no religion. Uh, Christians, as far as I know, other than Mormons, are the only religious group that really wants others to be them. And no, Mormons are not necessarily uh, Christian because they do have a lot of beliefs that are not common to both Protestantism and Catholicism. So I would not necessarily call Mormons a form of Christian. They're uh, they're a variant, but they can be fine people. Nothing against them, and their beliefs are good for them. That aside, uh, we think, oh well, the Muslims they want to destroy America. They want everyone to be like them. Well, no. Actually, uh, if a Muslim wants to convert everyone or convert anyone, they're not really seen as a good Muslim because that's that's really just a not cool thing to do. To go and say, oh well, you need what I need, or to try and force someone to come around. That's not a way to live. Uh, Jews are also not very much for the conversion thing. They do not want to make you believe what they believe. And they don't want people to live under them in less than good standards or anything. Uh, that's the other thing. There's this perception of a Zionist conspiracy to rule over people, but it's actually counterintuitive to Jewish beliefs to have other people live worse than they do. Yes, there are passages of the Old Testament that say you should slaughter your enemies and their children and their women, but there are many more passages that say, you know, you should preserve life and help your neighbor to live a better life. And that's one of the things that I really liked about Jesus was that um, he's a dude who says, basically stuff that was said for years from Torah that people forgot about. You know, they became materialistic and self-centered and, you know, very much about just going with whatever was the current thing. Uh, you know, before they were thrown out, they were they had to sudden they were brought back in by the Babylonians, and then the Greeks came in and the Persians and all that, and the Persians actually brought the Jews back into uh, Judea. So I don't know, it gets to a whole weird level after a certain point, but that isn't really the important part. The important part uh, is that the Jews were not going around telling people, "Oh, you have to be like us." You know, yeah, they were warring against a lot of their neighbors, but also if you read a lot of the descriptions, they gave their neighbors a lot of uh, chances to come to peace and a chance to, work things out instead of necessarily going to war. And a lot of the time, their enemies simply refused. And plus, it was a whole different age. It was a very much more savage time when resources were scarce, technology wasn't as able to produce all the wonders that we have today. So as a result, I don't think it's uh, very positive to say necessarily that all Jews want everyone to just live under them. Now, the people that do want folks to live under them and convert to their ways, who are they? Well, Christians and atheists, basically. A lot of atheists, are cool, and a lot of Christians are cool. I'm a Christian. I don't I don't follow that whole set. But there are a lot of people who do want folks to live under them and want folks to think and do like them. And those folks are very ethnocentric. They're very closed off. So that needs to be kind of done away with. Uh, that aside, uh, that's all for now. Bye.